The wildcard is active and we are here for game week 35. It's a small double game week from Chelsea and Spurs, but we are also planning for a bench boost in 37. So let's waste no time and look at how my wildcard draft is looking right now in today's team selection video. Let's start with the goalkeepers and work our way through the team. We have a double up of Vicario and Edison. Of course, Vicario this game week with his double. Yes, very well that Edison could outscore Vicario this game week with quite a good fixture of Forest away. And of course, City are going to have a good finish to the season, because they are leading in the title race. They have it in their hands to take, in my opinion. So I feel as though it's a great fixture, actually. And, you know, you could easily play Edison there and bench Vicario if you really wanted. But I feel as though even if Vicario does have a bad two games against Arsenal and Chelsea, he will get close enough to Edison's points that it really won't matter that much, if that makes sense. So yeah, the reason though I have picked the pairing is because next week in 36, Vicario has a difficult fixture in Liverpool away, whereas Edison has a pretty nice fixture of Wolves at home. Of course, in the reverse fixture, Wolves actually beat City this season, so maybe there's a bit of revenge in there. But yeah, I'm quite liking the pairing. Of course, in 37, both double with the bench boost. You're going to get a Burnley at home fixture from Vicario and a Man City at home fixture as well. Edison, Fulham away and Tottenham away in the double for 37. So it is a good pairing in my opinion. I've seen some other variations of the pairing that would possibly save you money but still get the same amount of fixtures. I just feel as though Edison next week is going to be the best keeper in my opinion. So that's why I've gone with that strategy. Now, in terms of defenders, Gusto and Porro are both flagged in FPL. So there's not necessarily a solidified position for them. I could obviously go with other players. Gusto and Pedro Porro both doubling, of course. Chelsea and Spurs players double this game week. So it's always going to be nice to include them in the side, even if they're flagged at the moment. I suppose we'll have an extra plan if these two players come out that they aren't going to be involved in their squads. I do feel as though Porro is more likely to be involved than Gusto. Gusto having a slight knee issue that we don't know much about right now. Hopefully we find out a little bit more information before the deadline, because it will be really a big problem if he's not playing. But I suppose not, because the bench is actually going to be quite stacked. But we'll talk about that more as we go through. So yeah, them two flag players. I'm really happy with the double up of a Chelsea and a Spurs defender, and of course double Spurs defense. Doesn't scream, yes, this is amazing, but with the pure, expected minutes of over 90, obviously playing over two fixtures, is quite nice to have, and I do like that strategy, and I've done it in the past season as well with Brighton players. When they have doubled, it worked pretty well, so we're going to try it again. Fabian Schär with a Sheffield United at home fixture. Now, I feel as though this fixture could go one of two ways. It could be an absolute just shit show. Newcastle could concede one or two goals, maybe still go on to win the game, a bit like United did last night against Sheffield United, or it could simply be that Newcastle just wipe the floor with them. Either way, I do think Newcastle will do well against Sheffield United, especially being a home fixture. So Fabian Schär is there. Hopefully he hits one of them ridiculous shots from outside the box and gets me a nice attack in return. But yeah, I feel as though Schär is probably one of the better Newcastle defenders to pick. It was on my mind to go with Trippier, but of course we have found out that is just not an option, sadly. But yeah, overall, I think the defenders and goalkeepers are pretty good. Not a lot solidified at the moment. Of course, you have options on the bench of Harry Maguire and Gabriel, with obviously good fixtures here and there. So yeah, it's a good defense. I'm just not sure everything is solidified at the moment. Now let's talk about the midfield five that I have gone for. We have gone with Sonny, Bruno Fernandes. Don't like him, but we are picking him. Gordon, Foden, and Palmer. Palmer and Son, double game week players, are probably the best player in each club, Palmer being Chelsea's star man and Son being the best player at Spurs, obviously. Double game week, so we know we can expect good point potential. Whether that is outputted is another thing. Sonny, of course, it's been a hard one for Spurs at the moment. They're not quite there. I think they've gotten tired towards the end of the season. Things just aren't looking as fluid right now with Spurs. Maybe that's because of injuries and other things, but I feel as though they've got enough players now to be coping with that sort of situation. Palmer, of course, flagged in the FPL app. He only had a cold, so I can imagine he will be perfectly fine to pick for the wildcard and for anyone else who wants to start him or possibly transfer him in. Foden, another player who I think is good for minutes. Big title race. Well, I say big title race. Liverpool's just dropped out of the title race. I don't think Liverpool are in it anymore. You've really got Arsenal and City, and I think City are really in the driver's seat at the moment. They dictate this title race, and Foden, being such a large part of that Man City squad, he's going to get the minutes. I'm laughing about that because you just never know with Pep. Pep just pulls something out of his arse one week. He'll bench Foden for no reason, and we'd all be like, whoa, what is going on here? But I really don't think that's going to happen. I think to solidify and get that first position, Foden is going to be a big part of the Man City squad. Bruno Fernandes, don't like the player. I think he's a little rat, but I can't deny he's good at football. Good fixtures, of course, double in 37. Not a great double, of course, with Arsenal at home and Newcastle at home, but I feel as though the home fixtures should boost them a little bit, so we're hoping for some good points. And of course, 2 good game week fixtures up and coming. Obviously, Burnley at home this week and Palace away the week after. Of course, Palace being a little bit of a better side at the moment, so it's not necessarily an easy fixture, but it's a decent fixture for Bruno Fernandes, I feel like. Gordon, Sheffield United at home. Gordon always plays best at home, so of course that's why he's in the squad. Not really understanding why people aren't picking Gordon in their wildcard drafts or just with their free transfers. I think he's probably one of the better options in FPL for this game week and weeks forward. So, yeah, if you're on the fence about Gordon, my opinion is absolutely buy him. And that's me as a Sunderland fan saying that. I think his potential for points is quite good against Sheffield United. And not necessarily a captain option because you have the double game week options. So, yeah, I really do like the potential of going Gordon captain, but the double game week really trumps that over me. So yeah, midfield 5 could change to a midfield 4, but we'll see as we go through the forwards, that situation. And of course the forwards, it's probably more than likely that you're going to see this pairing up front, or the front 3 of Isak, Nicholas Jackson and Erling Haaland. Now, Erling Haaland for me is on the bench. He's flagged, and I think his injury at the moment is more serious than anyone else in my squad, so therefore he would take the first position on the bench. It could be possible that I put him all the way at the back as third option on my bench, just in case. But if we find out news he is ready to start, it could be the case that Haaland comes in and Foden drops to the bench. But it doesn't sound great when I say that out loud. I'd probably rather play Foden at the moment, especially with just how Haaland is playing and to the fact that he might not be 100% and might not get all of the minutes that we are hoping he gets. So I feel as though it's probably a good home for Haaland first on the bench at the moment until we get more information. Let's talk about the exciting players though. Nicholas Jackson and Isak. Of course, Nicholas Jackson is just... He's an interesting player, we'll say. He's an interesting player. Fantastic XG, but he just can't finish. It's simple as. But you're saying, why do I want him in my team at the end of the season if I know he can't finish? It's because the chances are there for him. The chances are on the plate for him, and we've seen horrific miss after horrific miss. But he does get the odd goal here and there, and we have to understand that he's playing up front in a double game week with the potential of 180 minutes. It could be a decent little haul for Nicholas Jackson. Even if he gets a goal or 2 assists or an assist, I'm pretty happy with that overall. So yeah, Nicholas Jackson is in the squad at the moment. It's difficult to say that you would be solid within the team, because I am having doubts of putting him in. I'm debating going for a Rasmus Højlund over Nicholas Jackson, even with Højlund just having a single game week. But of course, being Burnley at home, could be argued that he would be more likely to score than Nicholas Jackson. But I feel as though the double is there for Nicholas Jackson. I'm going to have a long think about putting him in this side, because there are better options in my opinion, but I think the potential that Jackson has to score big in this double game week is pretty decent, so I'm going to go with him. Isak, I feel as though I missed out massively on Isak. I spoke a few weeks back about the possibility of bringing him in, but just never did, and I massively regret that. I feel as though Isak and Mateta, moving those players in the last few weeks, if you have done that, massive well done to you, because that has been such a FPL swing. Your rank has probably exploded through the roof, whereas I've just kind of been chilling with a Darwin Núñez, a Dominic Solanke and Haaland, who've really not done too much apart from the odd goal here and there. So yeah, there's a little bit of, I feel as though I'm late to the Isak party, but with the good fixtures and the double in 37, I feel as though he is right to bring it in now. Erling Haaland on the bench, I spoke about this, but I feel as though he's probably going to stay there. I'm not too sure that Pep is going to look at Haaland and be like, I've got a title to win, you are half injured, I'm just going to play you 90 minutes. I just don't think that's going to be the case. In terms of captain, Son's probably the main captaincy option for me. You could look at Palmer. Maybe he misses out on some minutes against Aston Villa and starts on the bench, so that's kind of putting me off, but he's only had a cold, so again, possible good option there. You then look at maybe the next best options with the single game week players. I think Bruno Fernandes, Gordon, and maybe an Isak are the ones to go for if you don't want to go for the double, because yes, some of the doubles are quite hard for these players. You've got Aston Villa away and Tottenham at home for Palmer, and of course Arsenal at home and Chelsea away for Sonny. So they are hard doubles, but you know the potential for points is there, and double game weeks can really add up for players and mounting on the points. So it's more than likely I'll be captaining Sonny this game week, possibly vice captain on Palmer. Overall, super happy with how the wildcard's looking at the moment. I would quite like to stretch Maguire to a Diego Dallo, but then someone else would have to be sacrificing the team. Maybe a Fabian Schär would drop down to a Dan Burn, or Edison drops down to a Henderson, or something like that to free up that money. But I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest with you. So, yeah, overall, wildcard's active, bench boost in 37, and I'm super happy with the team. I just want to say a massive thank you if you're watching to this point now. Hopefully that means you've enjoyed today's video, and if you have done so, please consider dropping a subscribe on the channel and possibly a like on the video. It's going to support me, and hopefully my videos and my future videos support you in your FPL journeys. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.